It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders. Today we're going to be talking about the recommended toppings for two more cookies today. The first one's going to be dark cacao cookie. Now, as you guys know, I run my toppings a little bit differently because of the different monuments and the different upgrades that I personally have. So it's not going to be the toppings that I have right now because a lot of players likely won't have the same upgrades that I have. So I'm not going to be actually recommending the ones that I'm personally using, as most people won't be able to utilize them in the same way. So, the two recommended best builds currently for dark cacao is either a solid almond build or a Syrian topping build. Now, solid almond, as you can see, he already has a lot of health and quite a lot of defense and a pretty healthy attack. So when you put the solid almond on with the maximum damage resistance, then at that point it makes it really hard to take dark cacao down, and he's able to dish out some pretty good damage too, especially if you have 15% attack substats on solid almond toppings. The Searing build, however, you can still get 30% damage resistance, but you at that point can get about up to 70% attack, which means that you'll be doing almost as much as Sea Fairy with the Searing build as well, as far as damage output. So you can really pull off quite a lot of damage with Dark Cacao, but you have to have attack, cooldown, and damage resist as the main focus. You can, if you go the solid almond build, go with HP, damage resist, and defense, and just make him the tankiest cookie you've ever had, because raising that defense and his HP in combination with damage resistance means that he's just going to be really hard to take down in a lot of situations. So that's why I would recommend either of those two builds. You can go cooldown and do some of his abilities more often. However, it's really hard to pull it off because since he's a frontline, you got to get his cooldown really fast, and you can't have any cookies behind him have a faster cooldown. Otherwise, he'll still go last in the skill order processing. And so, unless you're building your team specifically for his cooldown to go first, since he's first in line almost all the time, I wouldn't go cooldown for that specific reason. So, that's Dark Cacao. I guess I'll explain real quick why I'm running Apple Jelly. So since I have the Monument upgraded, and since I have the Labs upgraded, I do a lot more critical damage than I do traditional Searing damage. Now I do want to get these a higher damage resist and a higher attack substat, as well as the critical. But for right now, I can already deal quite a lot of damage because of those upgrades, since my critical chances are nearly 70%. And so more than 2/3 of the time, I should be hitting critical blows with not only my regular attacks, but also my specials too. So that's why I'm personally running critical apple jellies on him, and I have not been disappointed. I've been doing really good with that. The second cookie we're going to be talking about today is Knight. Now, Knight's a bit special because it does, again, depend on how you want to build him. So, my personal recommendation is build him how most everyone is building him, and that's to be the cookie that survives the absolute longest. And that would be a solid almond build with 51% damage resist, 15% HP, 15% defense. If you give him that, he has the best chances of surviving. Best chances. But what I have seen some people do is a very powerful Syrian build too. Now, they do this because they use even weaker cookies in their team so that he just gets all the stats immediately without any question. Where the solid almond build, you could use more powerful cookies. He should still be around, and you'll have better chances against high-powered teams, especially ones that can heal back really fast. So those are the two builds that I've seen. I have not really seen anything else work of attack speed for even faster attack speed because he doesn't survive. The cooldown, his abilities are nice, but then he gives the buffs to other cookies, and then they have to survive specifically for those buffs to work well. So it's a bit tough to run him in other builds. I'm sure cooldown would probably have the other best chances, but I've personally seen the best results from the solid almond build on him, and therefore that's what I'm running. But Let me know in the comments if you have specific builds that have worked really amazing for you. I would love to hear them, and I'd love to hear the explanations of why. Other than that, thanks for stopping by. Have a great night.